Hello guys and welcome to Horologique. As you know, the 12th AliExpress anniversary sale starts tomorrow, the 28th of March, and I've prepared for you my top 10 recommendations that are really worth your time. By clicking on the links below, you check these watches, you put them in your cart, and once the sale kicks in, you can snatch them at the best prices. I'm going to walk you through these 10 references with dimensions, sale price of course, and I'm going to tell you why I am recommending these watches to you. All the links to the watches on this list will be in the description below, as will be the reviews that I have made about these watches. And know that I have hands-on experience with all these watches, most of them I own myself. And if you do click on those links and end up buying, a little bit of commission comes to this channel, which helps me keep it alive, so thank you very much if you do. So let's start right away by what I consider to be possibly the best release of the last few months on the Homage world, and that is the Pagani Design 1676 Paul Newman. Why do I say it is one of the best releases? Because it is a beautiful watch. Really, Pagani Design have outdone themselves here. You know them, they always give us great bang per buck. However, their designs are copy and paste, of course, from Rolex, but here they are copying and pasting a model that has not existed for a long time, that has not been produced for over 40 years, and they have done it masterfully here. Why do I hold this watch in such a high regard? First, because of the dimensions. I believe it wears beautifully with its 39mm in diameter case, 13mm in height, with a domed sapphire crystal that just gives it a vintage, just 47mm in lug to lug, and beating inside this watch you've got the Seiko VK63 Mecha Quartz movement, ensuring this watch is tough and reliable. So tough in fact that I took it skiing in February and it didn't skip a beat. With its white face, its beautiful tropical dial, I cannot say good enough things about this watch, and during the sale it's down to $77. And there's something special: if you get to catch this time frame, it will go down to $65 on the 29th from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you get to snatch them at that price, you're a lucky guy. And I did a review on the 1676, of course, and I'm gonna leave you all these right here and on the description below for you to check. The only weak point I see about this watch is that bracelet. It is solid links, solid end links, all solid materials on the clasp, even with a small easy link like extension, which is quite hard to get out, but the tolerances are a bit off. I would say just a small niggle for this otherwise exceptional watch for the price point. Number 2, a watch that I received a few weeks back but that I still have to review. It will be the first Seastern on the channel, and of course it is the Seastern Sub 300T Homage watch. And even though I liked the baby blue color a lot, or the Tiffany blue color a lot, I have already reviewed way too many Tiffany blue watches and I really wanted to get something more flashy, so I took the yellow version. I believe that orange would have been too much Doxa, even though you're almost a copy and paste here of the Doxa. What do I think about this watch? I believe the quality is very good for the asking price. During the sale, the asking price is going to be $173 for a watch with quite big dimensions: 43.5mm in diameter, 13.6mm in height, but just 45mm in lug to lug, which comes actually up to 47.5 in end link to end link, because that beads of rice bracelet has actually protruding links. So do keep that in mind, even though 47.5 is not really big. The bracelet is a strong point of this watch, a very nice beads of rice bracelet with sapphire crystal, a Seiko NH35, and what is the originality from these watches, a lume date, which glows very nicely in the dark. The lume is BGW9 Superluminova, and it's very evenly and nicely applied, even on the date wheel, as you can see. something new, something fresher, let's say, with a bit of color there, something not to overlook. At number 3, do you remember that huge hype a few months back around the Patek Philippe Nautilus Tiffany blue? What if I told you you can get something that looks very much like it for $77? And this is indeed the Bliger NH35A, that's the way it is referenced to on the website, and it pays a very strong homage to that very nice Patek Philippe that everybody's trying to get their hands on and then went for, I don't know, 7 million or something ridiculous like that. What you need to know is that this watch comes in 3 movement versions. The Mingzhu Chinese movement, which is priced at $77. The Miyota 8215, which is what I have, that is priced at $83. And the Seiko NH35 version, which is priced at $96. All watches have a length of 43 millimeters in ear to ear, let's say, and on the version that I have, the thickness is only 11.5 millimeters. So can you really expect to get Patek Philippe quality for $77? Well, of course not. Forget about that. You're gonna get something that shines. The finishing is actually pretty good for the price point. The bracelet is going to be a bit sharp, so be careful of that for those of you who've got sensitive wrists. You, however, do get sapphire crystal, and you even get a screw-down crown. I wouldn't trust this for going swimming, but still, it is there. Don't expect also premium quality, not even mid-tier. For example, you see the spring bars slightly protruding from the drilled lugs on the case, and when trying to resize a bracelet, you will probably bend some of the pins like I did. So be really careful with that. But even so, you can pretend to be a millionaire for $77 with this one. Number 4, and there's a reason everybody's talking about this but me, but that's gonna be corrected right now. It's of course the Escapement Time dress watch with the VH35 movement. And at first I did not get it until out of the hype that was coming, I got this watch, and when I received it I was awed. The case finish is really exceptional for the price point. The price point, which is a little bit under $80. There is no sale on this timepiece, sadly. Escapement Times sell really well and they do not need to put sales on. As you might know, they come in 2 sizes right now. They do come in 40 millimeters, which is aimed at men, and they come in 36 millimeters, which is aimed at women. But men with smaller wrists can perfectly get around with a 36mm diameter watch. The Seiko VH31, it's a high beat quartz, which beats at 4 beats per second, giving you the impression of a vintage dress watch. So all very nice in there. The only thing I don't like is the fact that they put quartz in there, a little bit off-putting at number 5. I did review this a few months back, the Saint Martin Black Bay Chronograph Homage. And even though this is a homage to the famous Black Bay Chrono, which people have been going crazy about for the last months, it does take some liberties with the model. You do get the darling Seagull 1901 movement in here, which is a beauty to behold. Sadly, you cannot see it here because you've got a solid case back. Anyway, it is there, and you do feel it when you activate those pushers. You do feel the mechanical sensation of the 1901 column wheel chronograph movement. This watch is one of the best Saint Martin has built in terms of build quality. Beautifully constructed, beautifully finished. The loom is really good as well. At $282 during the sale, it might be expensive, but I believe that if you want quality, it is worth that price. Number 6, you've got an old channel favorite who is making a return here, the Escapement Time Flieger. And I did review the 42mm version of this one, and a few months ago they came back with a 40mm. They still make the 42, but they have changed that NH35 with the ghost state position, which was one of the complaints that people had at the time, and they put an NH38 in there. They raised prices a little bit as well, not too much, they haven't gotten too greedy, and this one costs around $119. Sapphire crystal, thermally blued hands as well, 100 meter of water resistance, So for that price, I believe that it is totally worth it. And what's more, the Flieger design is not owned by anyone, so technically this is not a homage watch to any brand. This is a homage to the Flieger, which is owned by no one. At number 7, you've got one of my favorite Saint Martin watches, and this is the 39mm Explorer Homage, with what I believe to be perfect dimensions for people with 6 3/4 to 7.5 and 7 3/4 inch wrists, 39mm in diameter, 12.8mm in height because of that beautifully domed sapphire crystal, 47.3mm in log-to-log, so a log-to-log dimension that is contained, NH35 in there, 100 meter water resistance, a beautiful construction, as is pretty much always the case with Saint Martin, and only $215 during the sale. This was one of my favorite watches that I reviewed from Saint Martin in 2021. I'll leave the link to that video in here. As long as we're talking about the Saint Martin Explorer Homage, let's get it all out of the system. You also have the 36mm version of this one, which I also reviewed recently, the SN025G, and they've come out with the SN025G B2, which is a version with the Tudor hands. Both of these are 36mm in diameter, 11.2mm thin, and that is thanks to the PT5000 movement in there, so high beat movement, clone of the ETA 2824, and only 45.5mm in log-to-log. So a small and wearable watch, ideal for wrists from 6, even 5.5 to 6.5, 7 inch wrists. No problem about that. Of course, the quality is exceptional as well. They are more expensive than the 39mm counterpart because of that movement. So during the sale, the Mercedes hands version comes at $277, and the Tudor hand version, which is the newest, comes at $288. Expect a review of that second one very soon on the channel. At number 9, the Pagani Design 1690, and this is a homage of the Rolex Oyster Perpetual with those flashy and nice colors, including of course the now famous Tiffany blue. I reviewed this watch a few weeks back, and it is a spec monster. Sapphire crystal NH35, nice, although slightly rattly bracelet, pretty good lume for a Pagani Design, great construction, only $101 during the sale. And at number 10, let's talk about an old classic that we have not covered here in quite a long time, and it is of course the Seagull 1963. Okay, I believe that all of us have a Seagull 1963, and that is because it is an absolute bargain. A beautiful, beautiful original design, military chronograph made in 1963, of course, for the Chinese army, with the amazing Seagull 1901 movement. And contrary to the Saint Martin in this list, you've got the see-through version here, which gives you a view of that amazing movement. And at $151 during the sale, this is a no-brainer. Alright guys, so this has been the top 10 for this sale. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found your pick or your picks. Don't hesitate to go see the reviews about the watches that interest you. Most of them are in the description below. And once again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like this video. It does help me a lot, guys, so thank you if you do. And I'll be seeing you very soon in another video. Goodbye.